make you feel that you can go after that world record?
Finally, Elaine Thompson-Herah says, yes, I can go after world records. At the recently concluded Prefontaine Classic, women's 100 meters in Eugene, Oregon, the United States, we witnessed history in the making. The remarkable, talented, double gold medalist from the Olympics, Elaine Thompson-Herah, blows away the field running an astounding 10.54, once again establishing a new personal best and the second fastest women's 100-meter time in history, with the only person running faster being FloJo. In a field of some of the greatest sprinters of all time. Now, those of us in Jamaica have been seeing this phenom, this icon, this double gold medalist in the Olympics and her winning ways since about 2015. We have seen her compete against her arch rival, and I mean that in a positive way, because at the time, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was and still is one of the greatest sprinters of all time and certainly the most decorated. Both women have been pushing each other to greater and greater times. Not too long ago, at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, we saw Elaine Thompson-Herah absolutely destroy the Olympic record set by the great Florence Griffith Joyner, better known as FloJo, in 1988, running an astounding 10.61 to win her final. And yet, 20 meters out from the finishing line, she was busy pointing at the clock. In the previous vlog, I stated, had she not done that and ran straight through the line, we would have seen a sub 10.6. And clearly, the recently concluded Prefontaine Classic proves me right. But here is the big question that we all want answered.
This time, does it make you feel that you can go after that world record?
Yes, because I ran 10.61, I ran 10.54, so that means I am close, of course. So there's some more work to do, so it's a target, of course.
Running on this track.
Finally, she says it. In an interview given to Audrey Tafari James, I'm going to leave the description of the full interview below in my description. She finally says, yes, she's ready to take on the mythical, legendary FloJo records. And I think this is a huge deal that she has finally said, yes, I'm ready to do this. Because let's face it, it's FloJo's 100 and 200 meter records set in 1988 that are pretty much elephants in the room, running the 100 meter in a world record time of 10.49 people, and the 200 in a time of 21.34. Wow. Even Veronica Campbell-Brown, the double Olympic 200 meter gold medalist, said, it is beyond my reach. The world record is 21.34 and the 100 meters world record is 10.49. How many females has even run 10.6 in the past 20 years since FloJo set that record? But here's what I think, and I'm pretty sure of. Running really fast is a combination of several things that I've said repeatedly in my vlogs. One is clearly speed. Number two is mental fortitude, meaning the ability to show up on those big occasions and not be intimidated. Number three is experience, and I think experience is important, especially if you have to be running rounds before you get a chance to actually, so you have to learn to manage your speed, manage how you do. Clearly, we have seen since 2016 an Elaine Thompson-Herah who clearly has gotten faster and faster and faster. In fact, this season, the 2021 season, although she did not win in the national Olympic trials in Jamaica, she actually came third in 100 meters behind Shericka Jackson, who came second, and of course the great Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who came first. But when I saw that run she did in Europe at the Wonder Diamond League, where she ran 10.71, about 1 month before the Olympics, the 2020 Olympics, I knew she was back. And when one of the greatest track coaches of all time, Stephen Francis, said she's in the shape of his life, and I tend to listen when he speaks, I knew she was ready. It was evident to me that the speed would have been back. It was back. She had healed, and many people seem to have forgotten that one of her primary challenges was after her remarkable runs in Rio in 2016, winning the double gold medals. She had gotten terribly injured, and injury, I always say, is not just about physical recovery, but also psychological recovery, people. When I realized that she had run that 10.71, I knew she was back. And I also knew, as she had done in Rio, she was peaking just at the right time. So she has the speed. We know, having come back from so much injury, that she definitely has the mental fortitude, the right frame of mind. We know, as she's proven again in Tokyo, she turns up on the big occasions. In fact, the stress, the fire, being in the fire only makes her stronger. And therefore, she has a mental fortitude. So the speed is completely back. The mental fortitude is back. But I'm going to add two more elements to this, and why I think she can now easily break the world record. The third thing is what she just did in Eugene, Oregon at the Prefontaine Classic, in the most hyped female 100-meter race of all time. I think there were two other elements there that we have to contemplate. One, there was pride. She was being asked to run in a race against a very, very talented young lady from the United States, but a young lady who had never won anything really. And I think all the ladies there, and I said it in a previous vlog, were there to prove a point. I mean, no matter who we are, we have a little bit of pride. So her ego was at stake. But then there is the final element. Again, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was in that race. There was a Shericka Jackson in that race. There was a Talu in that race. There was a Daniels from the United States in that race. There was a Brianna Williams in that race. And of course, there was also Sha'Carri, I apologize. So she has the speed. She definitely has the mental toughness and fortitude. Her ego is at stake. And she had the fastest women on earth breathing down her neck in that Prefontaine Classic. But I was waiting on the fifth and final element. You see, I've been saying in my vlogs for quite some time now that I am certain she can crush Flojo's world records. But I knew that there was one more element that was absolutely necessary for her to be able to do this. And I think if we're able to put these other four elements together, I mean, you're seeing the Jamaican National Trials from 2016, the 100 meters, where she put together a remarkable race that shocked almost all the pundits in Jamaica. And I love seeing this shot of the camaraderie between the Jamaican female athletes. But I'm digressing. I was waiting on the fifth element. Yeah, the fifth element. The fifth element is she had to believe she could do this. She had to believe, yeah, you know what? I can actually do this. I can break this barrier that was placed in 1988. One of the greatest barriers in terms of world records of all time. A 33-year-old record. She had to finally believe that she could do it. Now, if you lower your PB in one season from 10.71, which is a remarkably fast race, then you get to the Olympics and realize throughout the rounds that you're running faster and faster. You can feel it as an athlete. You know that you are now fully healed. That psychological barrier that was there is now gone. It's dissipated. Then in the finals of the most competitive 100 meters since Flojo's world record breaking race, you run an Olympic record of 10.61 and still had time 20 meters out of the finishing line to point at a clock, then clearly the speed element is there. Then you are challenged to come and represent yourself again at the Prefontaine, running against the fastest woman on the planet Earth, and you run 10.54? People. That's the fifth and final element. She needed to know that she could do this. And having lowered her PB from 10.71 to 10.61 to 10.54, you just said it in the interview, she realizes, yeah, I can now do this. So the 5 elements are now there for her to break FloJo's world record.
Does it make you feel that you can go after that world record?
Yes, because I ran 10:61, I ran 10:54, so that means I am close, of course. So there's some more work to do, so it's a target, of course.
So her saying yes, Elaine Thompson-Herah, the world's fastest living woman, saying yes, I can go after that world record. And herself quoting what I just said, that she ran 10:61, now she's ran 10:54. It means that now she's in the mental place of mind. It means that the races now are going to be a little different. She's now running against that clock because she realizes she's in the shape of her life. And let's say it again, she has the speed. She has the mental fortitude. She shows up on the big occasions. She had the motivation, her ego in that race. She was being pressed by the other fastest living female sprinters in the world. And she's healed. And now, most importantly, she knows she can break the world record. She now knows she can do it. Even those of you who are not huge track enthusiasts must understand what running that kind of race in front of the entire world, 10.54. I think even the person who knows very little about track would understand the significance of that speed, that power against these women who really are, as far as I'm concerned, the fastest women in the world today. So when I saw this interview, I was beyond excited. I was so excited because finally, that final thing was in place. You know, that thing where she says, you know what? I'm going to do this. I ran 10.61 and I just ran 10.54 without trying. Can I break the world record? Yes, I can. So, do you think she can do this? I'd love to know your thoughts. And as always, bless up.